following program is sponsored by Michael W. Smith. The views expressed on the following program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership.
Phoenix, Arizona, Brother Mike is back on the radio. Welcome to HardcoreChristianity.com. Thanks for tuning into the program. Today's Bible study, The Necklace Noose, Death by Suicide. Welcome to Death Week on HardcoreChristianity.com. Call somebody, if you would, and tell them the radio program's on, particularly if they have a child who may be considering ending their life. Lots of help for them today. This is Brother Mike. I'm the professional counselor at the Arizona Deliverance Center in Central Phoenix. We're on 15th Avenue, just south of Osborne Road. It's the red brick building. Thursdays and Friday nights at 7 o'clock Pacific and Arizona time, we have live services, preaching, teaching, healing, and deliverance at both services. In addition, if you go to the website, hardcorechristianity.com, you'll see all of our other services, which are seminars and free deliverance training classes. If you need a religious exemption to get out of the upcoming monkeypox vaccine, send me an email, Mike at hardcorechristianity.com. I'll send you out the exemption immediately. If you have somebody who needs to be delivered and healed, send me an email and ask for the miracle list, a step-by-step guide to recovery and healing that works 100% of the time. If you have somebody who's sick, this list will cure them guaranteed. Don't forget about our Zoom deliverance and healing service every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific and Arizona time, 9 p.m. Eastern. You won't believe how many people are getting healed on the Zoom broadcast. Send me an email and I'll send you the code and the password. The Necklace Noose. Oh man, what else is the devil going to come up with? Well, he's always coming up with something new. Here's one of his new things. I try to keep you abreast of everything he's doing. This is Death Week on Hardcore Christianity. We're having a special service on August 26th, praying for people who took the vaccine. If you took the vaccine, you can be healed and delivered of this monster. August 26th at 7 p.m. at the Arizona Deliverance Center. Also on streaming, youtube.com/House of Healing AZ. You've heard about suicide before. Of course, it's the third leading cause of death among young people in the United States. Second leading cause of death among college students. The suicide rate has gone up dramatically since 2019. It's absolutely amazing. 50% higher again, almost. Incredible. Adolescents accounted for the largest share of suicides, usually. And there were nearly 46,000 people that committed suicide in 2020, making it the 12th leading cause of death in the United States in that year. Men commit suicide more than women. Older men commit suicide more, obviously, than younger men. White people commit suicide more than any other group. Gay people commit unusually high levels of suicide. But there's something else going on. The necklace syndrome. If you heard about it, all across the country, parents and students are gearing up to go back to school, and that always causes a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety, a lot of emotions among kids. Well, for some children, it's so bad, they actually start contemplating suicide. And as you know, teenagers like to use secret codes for things to keep the adults out of the loop. And here's one of them. If your daughter in particular, in some cases it is the sons, but usually the daughters, if they are shopping for a necklace to return to school, that can be a sign, a trend among the students that they're talking about considering committing suicides. It's called the necklace noose trend. And this thing apparently is very real. I looked it up in the Urban Dictionary. And this necklace is a euphemism for a noose. And it refers to the feelings of suicide that students have when they fear returning to school or going back into a school setting. It can have a very dark meaning, and it's a trend you're going to have to take very seriously because this thing is real. You know, young people are committing suicide so much more regularly today than they did in the past. It's absolutely unbelievable. And the reason for it, of course, is COVID-19 isolation lockdown situations that accelerated suicide, and that was the intent of the lockdowns, to get you to commit suicide. One of the intents. They knew lockdowns didn't do any good at all. Scientifically, it does not stop COVID. In fact, it spread it, and that's why they wanted the lockdowns, because it spread COVID. Governor Cuomo illustrated it one day on his COVID briefing. I saw the broadcast, and my mouth hit the floor in 2020 when he showed that COVID was spreading faster among people who were staying at home than people who were in the community. And he was flabbergasted at it. He didn't understand it. Well, the reason he didn't understand it was because it was supposed to do that. They wanted to spread COVID. They want you dead. They want to kill you. They want people committing suicide. No country that doesn't want to kill you would allow in drug traffickers bringing in fentanyl from our southern border in droves if they didn't want to kill off 100 or 110 or 120,000 people a year. That's what they did last year, 2021. This year will be higher. 105,000 people they murdered with fentanyl, and they led them across the border deliberately. They knew they were coming. They did it by design. Why? They want you dead. Social media is killing these teenagers. The internet, social isolation. It's amazing. Blackmailing situations on the internet. Pedophiles floating around the internet. Religious and satanic cults floating around the internet trying to pick off your children. You can't believe what's on the internet. I couldn't believe it until I started looking it up. It's beyond belief what's out there. The devil is catering to everybody, and he's put on an assault that has never been seen before, and he's trying to kill our young people first. He loves drugs, and secondarily, he loves suicide. Loves it. Suicide actually is the second leading cause of death for children of all ages and adolescents and young adults, believe it or not, between age 15 to 24. Most of them have a mental illness. Most of them are suffering from clinical depression. Most of them have anxiety disorders. The majority of them have the number one illness in America, which is depression. Sometimes kids commit suicide because they're impulsive. They have a situational crisis involving other students, their parents, what have you. But normally they have feelings of sadness and confusion and anger or depression or problems with hyperactivity or doing poorly in school or being bullied. Suicide attempts also are also related to stress or self-doubt, pressure to succeed, financial insecurity, disappointment with life, disappointment with parents, a loss of a relationship, losing a boyfriend or a girlfriend. The devil puts thoughts in their minds and he explains to them, listen, suicide is a reasonable exit here. It's not a problem. No problemo. Suicide makes sense. Let me give you an example of how bad this is. American Academy of Pediatrics recently declared that child mental health in America is a national emergency. And suicide is the second leading cause of death among those aged 15 to 24. Nearly 20% of high school students are contemplating committing suicide. 20%? That's unbelievable. Those are figures that couldn't even be imagined in 1950 or 1960 in the United States. What's happening? The devil is steamrolling us. He's rolling over us. He's calling in the cavalry. Legions of demons are attacking children. Fear demons. Lust demons. Witchcraft demons. Ouija boards, tarot cards, more popular now than ever. Witchcraft is sweeping the country. What follows witchcraft? Suicide. Sexual promiscuity and pedophilia is being normalized by Satan in the United States. What happens when you take a 14-year-old girl's virginity, a 13-year-old girl's virginity, a 12-year-old? What happens to them? Lust demons enter their body, and the vast majority of them develop depression and self-rejection, and they become promiscuous. As soon as someone, including boys, loses their virginity, the first time they have intercourse, in particular boys, the first time they have an orgasm, demons take advantage of that issue, and the person becomes promiscuous. They start having multiple sex partners. Their personality changes. Their emotions change. And they start living in sin. Then the thoughts of low self-esteem and self-rejection caused by demons begin to attack the child, and then they bring in the thoughts of suicide. If your child fits into any of these categories I mentioned in today's broadcast, bring them in for free counseling services. There's no reason for them to commit suicide. There's no reason for them to die. 602-636-5800. If you don't live in Arizona, contact me by email, mike@hardcorechristianity.com. I'll send you the Zoom deliverance service, the code and the password for Wednesday night. Have your child on that Zoom Wednesday night. There's no need for them to die.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership. This program was sponsored by Michael W. Smith.